Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is the War Report, episode 160, titled Updates on Dougie Hamilton, latest COVID-19 protocol, who's off, who's entering, all that jazz. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu. Coming to you live in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey, the Bunker Studios, as the Devils take on the Boston Bruins today at Boston, in Boston. I don't know, is it the TD Bank Center? I forgot. They always change the names. It used to be the Fleet Center, then TD Bank. Is it still TD Bank? Let me know. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. If you haven't seen it yet, go to pucksandpitchforks.com. Lots of content. Lots of content to be had. Lots of content to read. Vinny Parisi, Nick Villano, myself, David Holliday. Great content for you to read. Check it out. It's a good time to be reading Devil stuff because the Devils are on a 3-game winning streak. Reset button hit. We talked about Nico Hischier now starting to really show why he is or was the first overall pick in 2017. Why the Devils made him captain at the age of 22. Which, by the way, happy 23rd birthday to the captain, Nico Hischier, who turns 23 today as he's in practice right now in Boston to take on the big bad news Boston Bruins. And I will say this, my fellow Devils fans, we couldn't have asked for a better captain. At a young age, they surprised him last year, coming back from injury, coming back from doing his military service duties, his obligations in his native homeland, Switzerland, that he is now maturing as the captain. As the captain of the New Jersey Devils. It takes a lot to be a captain. More responsibilities. Making the players around you better. Helping your fellow teammates. Communication. And he's learned on the job and he's learned on the fly. But there's one thing that's been apparent throughout the career of Nico Hischier. He leads by example. And that's important to know. He leads by example. Leads by example. And as he does. All right, so latest update on Dougie Hamilton. Mike Rossi, happy Devils Tuesday to you. He said, I read the articles you, Nick, and Vinny posted. Great articles. Yes, thank you. So Dougie Hamilton, according to Amanda Stein, the latest, and she's got all the information. It all flows through her. Meow, meow. Not on the ice in practice today. Update, latest on the COVID-19 protocol. Tomas Tatar is back with the New Jersey Devils in practice as of around 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm seeing the comments rolling in on YouTube Live. A big game tonight, says Whistler LGD. Keith Martin, Swiss Army knife, does everything well. Nico Hischier leads by example. Gutsy performance last game. You could check out my blog on hockeybuzz.com and pucksandpitchforks.com. But Pucks and Pitchforks, I wrote about Nico Hischier, his leadership, how he has emerged. Now, we've always known that Nico Hischier was a great player, but there's a big difference between being a great player and being a leader of this franchise called the New Jersey Devils. And that takes time. There are growing pains. Jonathan Toews, when he was named captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, I'm going to use him as an example because I think him and Nico they have the same demeanor. They have the same focus. Nico Hischier, he may look like a nice guy, but he's got a mean streak to him. If you ever watched him, how quietly competitive he is. He's got the stoic quietness of Jonathan Toews, or even like Scott Stevens. Scott Stevens didn't bark so much. He led by example. His presence itself is all you needed to know about his leadership. And I think Nico Hischier is the same way. But now he's starting to communicate more. Players on the bench. Again, when I watch the games, I look for little things. I look for, I don't look at stats. I look for what the players are doing on and off the ice, what they're doing on the bench. And Nico Hischier seems to be the one that's encouraging his teammates and keeping them informed of what they should be doing. After all, last game, the Devils' defense, blue line, played practically the entire game, other than 2 minutes without Dougie Hamilton, their star defenseman, who they brought in as the big prize free agent last offseason. And we shall see. Dougie Hamilton is a tough guy, but those kind of injuries, these freak injuries, we've been through it before. Nico Hischier's been through it before. Nico Hischier has been through it before. Also coming over the wire through Amanda Stein, at Amanda Stein on Twitter. Tomas Tatar will return to the hashtag NJ Devils lineup tonight against the Bruins. So Tatar is in. Devils get Tomas Tatar back off the protocol. Also breaking news, Dougie Hamilton is being further evaluated in New Jersey, will not be available tonight, according to New Jersey Devils, their Twitter account at NJ Devils. So no Dougie Hamilton tonight. Further evaluation. We were kind of expecting that. Devils don't tell you much for good reason. You don't want to show your cards. You don't want to show your hand. But Dougie Hamilton is out for tonight. Further evaluation in New Jersey. And he was not on the ice, obviously, this morning with the New Jersey Devils for the morning skate. How will the Devils do without Dougie Hamilton tonight against the Boston Bruins? Ryan Graves is going to have to step it up along with Damon Severson. Severson taking the bulk of the minutes against the Capitals. Nearly 30 minutes of ice time, total ice time. I mean, you're talking playoff hockey numbers when the coaches have confidence in you to stop the Washington Capitals, their high-powered forwards like Tom Wilson, Alexander Ovechkin, and also John Carlson on defense. Devils did a pretty good job. The only thing that I would say in the last 3 games, they were all one-goal games. I think their mindset is there. Nico Hischier kind of alluded to that when the Capitals scored that game-tying goal, that himself and the team, the New Jersey Devils, did not get down. And he was explaining that he was kind of tricking his mind. And this is kind of cool. He was tricking his mind that they tied it up and everything's going to be okay. Still a lot of game to be played at that moment when the Washington Capitals tied it up late in the third period. And I will say this, my friends. That's leadership. I like the mindset of the New Jersey Devils. Losing Dougie Hamilton is a big deal, but it's not like this team hasn't seen this before, and it's not like they don't know what to do. And this should be even a greater test. We talked about the 10-game stretch after beating the Buffalo Sabres after that first game since the reset, beating the Edmonton Oilers on day one of the 10-game set stretch, beating the Washington Capitals both in overtime in exciting fashion, heartbreaking fashion for the other team. They do have the ability to beat the Boston Bruins. Mac Black, Mackenzie Blackwood, remember that save he had last season, with about, handful of seconds left of the game? That goal line stand is, I would say, using a football terminology, because the puck was right on the line in the air, and Mackenzie Blackwood, put out his goalie pad, and it was just enough to beat the big bad news Boston Bruins. We will have you covered tonight. It is a triple header Happy Devils Tuesday. We'll report going on right now. Game Day Live, Vinny Parisi and I, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll pregame, do the preview of the game against the Bruins, Devils Bruins. And then afterwards, Scotty of SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. After the game, it is a triple header Happy Devils Tuesday today. Again, Dougie Hamilton coming over the wire over Twitter at NJ Devils from the team themselves. The Dougie Hamilton will not be playing tonight. Further evaluation in New Jersey. They got to get to him. They got to get him the best doctors, figure out what's going on, and we go there from here. Tomas Tatar also off of protocol as well. Should it give the Devils a little bit of offensive boost? Right now, they got a lot of good chemistry going on with the forwards. And they must continue putting the puck on net, outshooting their opponents quickly. No hesitation, quickly. Don't think about it. Put the puck on net. Trust your forwards. We'll get there and get those loose, juicy rebounds. The defenseman played only 4 shifts Sunday. And I'm sorry, I'm just reading out loud. Erica Walker just tweeted out. Oh, yeah. Dougie Hamilton only played 4 shifts on Sunday. Sorry, I thought she was trying to say something, but anyway, I retweeted that. See, this is what we do on a live podcast. Frank the Tank, he says, I'm worried about Tatar coming back, actually. Feel like they are meshing well without him. I have the same feeling, but you know what? You got to give the guy a chance. Got to give him a chance. You never know. He may come in and blow it up. Or maybe he comes there and get on a hot streak. I don't know. Keith Martin asks, where does Tatar slot in tonight? We shall see. Should be interesting. Also coming over the wire as well from Amanda Stein. Christian Jaros will be in tonight for the New Jersey Devils with no Dougie Hamilton available. We should know what the pairings are like during warm-ups. Okay, so we're not going to get the lineups early as per usual with the New Jersey Devils. 1,000% get him back in, says Frank. I think he's talking about Tomas Tatar. Boston Bruins sitting at that last wild card spot. Devils 3 points behind, but the Bruins only played, I think, 28 games, while the Devils have played 33. Game 34 tonight. Game 34 tonight. Still plenty of hockey left of this season, folks. If you want to talk playoffs, well, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, the Devils are still in it. But they need to have a very solid, very progressing January. And then roll into the All-Star break in the thick of things. They need to move up in the standings. And this is where 3-point games could kill the New Jersey Devils. October, they did very well. They pat on the points. And we talked about it here on the Let's Go Devils podcast that those points are meaningful. They lost their lead. They lost their cushion. That is over now. The Devils have to play catch up. And this is why tonight's game is extremely important, along with the two games back-to-back home-and-home series with the BJs, the Columbus Blue Jackets. You know it. I know it. These next three games are going to be tough, important. And, of course, the last game of the 10-game stretch that I said it was important, they play the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. But don't have no fear. They beat the Washington Capitals in their own building after losing to them, 9 games in a row in the regular season? Hadn't beaten the Capitals since February 22nd, 2020. This team may have it in them to get there. And it's starting to come back together like it was in the beginning of the season. But I think this is even a better team because I think they've matured and realized as a group, as a team, don't take anything for granted. And how they're going to come out tonight, and we'll talk about on Game Day Live, you got to play that full 60 minutes. They played almost a full 65 minutes against the Washington Capitals. Yeah, there are mistakes, but the effort was there. Scotty, a SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, my recap guy on Devils After Dark, mentioned you can't be sleepwalking in the first period or sleepwalking at all. This is the NHL. These teams are good. These teams will beat you on any given game. So you have to be on your A game, New Jersey Devils. And I think they will be. I think they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson last season. And Bryce Salvador, good friend of the podcast, has mentioned this several times when we've interviewed him, that, and this dates back for the last 2 years, that the Devils themselves need to, are just like any other team. They get their winning streaks, but they need to mitigate and not get too down on their losing streaks, like what happened in those 6 weeks. If you're off the wagon, get back on the wagon. Get back to basics. And that's what they've done. And how do you mitigate? How does this team mature where every team goes ups and has their ups and downs throughout an NHL season? But how do you mitigate that? And how do you minimize those losses, those losing streaks? Instead of 7, how about 2? And then start winning and just get majority of your wins and start another winning streak. And I think the Devils need to get there. It remains to be seen if they can. But as what Keith Martin says on the YouTube Live, if they keep it simple and skate for 60 minutes, they can beat anyone. And I truly believe it. The talent's there. The coaching is there. I think the confidence in themselves is starting to get there. I think what Tom Fitzgerald did on December 20th in his impromptu press conference was great leadership. He held the players accountable, but he also had their back, saying that he was confident that they can get the job done. And that's important. That is important. It looks like Elaine Nazardine will be coaching tonight, I believe. Just making a guess on it, just based on Elaine Nazardine answering questions to reporters. And that's good. I think, how do you think about Elaine Nazardine now? Let me know. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. What are your thoughts on Elaine Nazardine? I think he's done a great job. I hope he stays within the organization. I hope he has a head coaching job one day, because I think he's worked hard at it, and he deserves it. And I think he's getting the best out of all the players, and also coming over the wire so random. If you're waiting on your hat, we apologize for the delay, says the New Jersey Devils. As so many of us have been affected COVID-19, so have our production and fulfillment partners. Rest assured it's coming. It's just delayed. Thank you for your patience. Oh, be patient. Be patient. Be patient. And your support of Devils Youth Foundation. Well, it's good that they're letting you know. Heck, that's what the whole world's gotten to right now. That's what they've gotten to right now. And yeah, we don't need it. What the heck is this? You know what? I gotta block this person. I hate it when people spam your chat. They always spoil the fun. It's what I've always said on this podcast. Marketers ruin everything. They really do. They really do. All right, so right now, updates on Dougie Hamilton. He won't be in tonight. Further evaluation reported by Amanda Stein and Matt Lachlan. Also, latest to come off the COVID-19 protocol, Tomas Tatar as well. I believe Elaine Nazardine will be coaching the team. We'll be there tonight. And it should be interesting, folks. Should be interesting. Will the Devils pull out another victory and get 4 straight? Will Nico Hischier lead the team again? Jack Hughes. Oh, let's talk about Jack Hughes. 8 points in the last 3 games. Jack Hughes being Jack Hughes. Oh, I'm telling you, this is what Jack Hughes needs to keep on doing. He needs to still be a thief. He needs to be the biggest thief on the ice. He likes to steal that puck. It's almost like he's skating around like a little punk out there, a pest in his own way, where he's poke checking you and poke checking the puck from you and turning it around. And that transition game is just, I can't wait to see it for many years to come. The Jack Hughes steals, the Jack Hughes pickpockets, whatever we want to call it. We should call him Jack the Ripper, because he's ripping the pucks away from the opponents and taking out and scoring. Watch for those Jack the Ripper plays that Jack Hughes is going to be doing. I just made that up on the fly. Hear that, New Jersey Devils? Jack the Ripper. Why don't you steal it? Anyway, all right. Well, that's all for now. Want to hear your thoughts. Everybody chiming in on the social media pages. Help me out. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils. You can also follow us on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod. And you can find us on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast and Twitch. And also, you can find me on pucksandpitchforks.com. Great blogs, articles, and hockeybuzz.com as well. Hockeybuzz.com was my old stomping grounds years ago when I was just a little, well, I wasn't little. I was still an adult, but I was just a kid with a lot of time on his hands. Anyway, all right, folks, we're going to end it here. Dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes on all of our podcast pages for your afternoon drive. Be careful out there. I saw down in Virginia, I-95 pile up. Got to be careful with this winter weather, I'll tell you. Hands 10 and 2 on the wheel. As you're listening to this podcast, stay safe, everybody. We got a big game tonight. Triple header. Happy Devils Tuesday. Again, happy birthday to the captain, Nico Hischier. Turns 23 today. We shall see. No Dougie Hamilton. Tomas Tatar is back. Yeah. All right. Dropping the podcast. See you at Game Day Live, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. And also Devils After Dark after the game. Scotty and I will recap the game that was. Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go Devils.